Presenting Chris Forsberg Racing. Going for that fast entry, filling outside zone 1. Grabbing inside clip nicely as well as he flies up the hill. Filling outside zone 3, keeping it smooth. Nice and smooth on that transition as well. Looking pretty dialed in the Z today. Trying to find that track edge there in this outside zone as he works down this small little hill. Last and final transition, grabbing that inside clip. There he goes across that finish line. The 95.7 in that Chris Forsberg Racing all new Z. Look at there, filling outside zone 1. Maybe first hash for inside clip, and then filling 2. About as deep as you can go into outside zone 3. Brandon looking good here on his second run. Right along that track edge. How dirt didn't fly up there as he makes that next transition into outside zone 6. That's a final transition to the inside clip. A little awkward around it, but a solid.
As they leave the gate and come down the hill, initiating it is Brandon Gardner, qualifying fourth today through outer zone 1 and 2. But look at the attack there from Ethan, already trying to keep it on the door through outer zone 3. So we see him transition through the Manji section into outer zone 5. Ethan almost touching the door of Brandon Gardner in that chase position as they transition into outer zone 6 on the door, wheel to wheel through outer zone 6. Ethan's giving him absolutely no breathing room, but a good lead run here from Brandon out front. A little bit of contact there as they come through that final inside, and the lights go on. And down the straight they come, down the hill. Ethan out front, Brandon chasing. Right there off the initiation through outer zone 1. Brandon already giving him a touch through outer zone 2. A little bit of tire kick up there from Ethan in that lead lane, but Brandon all over the door of Ethan as they transition through outer zone 4 and now into 5, leaving almost no room on that transition. He had to back out of it just a slight bit to avoid hitting the bumper. This is absolutely mental between these two as he's not leaving him any room for error, being just as aggressive in that chase, and Ethan's doing a great job out front here through that final inside clip. They go and finish out wheel. Brandon Gardner in the NOS Energy Drink Z up against Ethan Pikachu in his all-new Z. They come down the hill, they initiate through outer zone 1. Ethan takes a way shallower line and almost understeers through that first inside clip to outer zone 2. Now losing a bunch of ground through outer zone 3. A little bit of smoke, dirt being kicked up by the lead driver through outer zone 3. But now they clean it up through outer zone 4 and now into 5. Ethan's back on the door, ready to mount his attack and try to keep up for that mistake he made super early on. Right on the wheel of Brandon through outer zone 5. They make the transition. One last outer zone to go. Along the door is Ethan to battle. The lights go blue and off they go. Down the hill, initiating in is Ethan. Right with him is Brandon Gardner. Look at that proximity off of outer zone 1 through the inside clip. Now into outer zone 2, leaving no room for that transition into outer zone 3. He is almost right on the wheel, leaving a bit of room though for this Manji section. They make the transitions work, and now back on the attack comes Brandon. A good job out front here from Ethan, but he's still got a few more outside zones and inside clip to navigate as Brandon tries to mount that attack, get up close. A little bit of dirt being kicked up from the lead driver into that final inside clip. They go side by side through the final outer zone. Down the hill, initiating in is Brandon Gardner. Good off the initiation, but Cornelius already on the attack through outer zone 1 as they come through outer zone 2, up the hill to outer zone 3. Cornelius sticking right with them as they come through outer zone 3, make that transition happen. Looking good so far, trying to close that gap, get that proximity as they transition down to outer zone 6 now. Cornelius just doing a good job at keeping the car right there, right in the pocket, not too close, but not too far away as they come through that final inside clip and to the final outer zone. Initiating in is Danelius out front. Brandon Gardner right there with them as they come through outer zone 1, now through outer zone 2. Brandon Gardner trying to attack that door, trying to get as close as he can. Danelius out front doing a good job here so far through outer zone 4. They come now transitioning into outer zone 5. There's Brandon Gardner getting right up on the door through outer zone 5, but gonna have to leave some room here for the transition down to outer zone 6 as he pushes to get even closer to Danelius. But can he make it happen? Through outer zone 7 now, the final inside clip. They are door to door. It's gonna be a fun one. Down the straight they come. Brandon initiating it through outer zone 1. But there we saw Robert get really close right along the door. Maybe even made a little bit of contact through outer zone 1. Kept that proximity through outer zone 2. Another touch there to Brandon as they transition into outer zone 4. Now into outer zone 5. Another hit there from Robert in that chase position. Robert just going for broke here on this run, trying to keep that Lexus as close to that Z as possible as they transition one last time. Another hit from the chase driver of Robert. Underway. Who will go to face Brandon Patrick in the finals? Initiating in. Look at the attack from Brandon in that chase, but looking good out front from Robert Kaminsky here as they come through outer zone 3. Transitioning now into outer zone 4. Brandon holding back just a little bit here before really getting up into that pocket, getting into the door of Robert as they make the transition into outer zone 6. It's looking good so far. Robert doing a good job out front here to make a good end to this battle, coming through that second last outer zone, the inside clip, finishing outside. They sing all new Z. The lights go on and off they go down the hill, and initiating it is Brandon Patrick. Gardner right behind him as they come through the inside clip into outer zone 2. They transition up the hill. Patrick on a good lead line, but look at the proximity from Gardner as they come up the hill. He was trying to keep it right on that door before they had to back out of it for the transition. The Manji section that leads them into this outer zone here, outer zone 5. Now Patrick out front trying to keep the car on a good line, but look at that pressure from Gardner in the chase. Absolutely mental here between these two as they are right on each other's door all the way around through the gate lead. And down the hill they come. Initiating in, Brandon Gardner out front looking good, but Patrick right behind him, ready to go as they come into outer zone 3. Oh, I thought he was going to go off course there being that wide, but he saves it just by kicking up a little bit of dirt as they come through outer zone 4, then 5. Patrick trying to get up on that door and put that big Ferrari on the side of that Z as they come transition through to outer zone 6 now. Patrick still glued to the side of Gardner's car as they come through the final outer zone, and they are wheel to wheel as they cross that finish. Sim Magic S14 and the Chris Forsberg Racing Z. We have Brandon Gardner. Initiating in is Zach O'Sullivan. Brandon Gardner really trying to close that gap though through outer zone 2 as they transition up the hill. Along the track edge, just a little bit of dirt kicked up, but Brandon Gardner not moving off the door of Zach O'Sullivan's car as he transitions along the bumper into outer zone 5. Keeping it there, holding it there, waiting for the transition to happen. Back on the door goes Brandon Gardner as they come through outer zone 6. Absolutely mental driving here today through outer zone 7. Brandon Gardner and Zach O'Sullivan cross that line, ready to chase him down. Who will take home 3rd place here today? Initiating into outer zone 1, looking good. Zach O'Sullivan trying to close the gap. Brandon Gardner up the throttle through outer zone 2. Up the hill they come. Through outer zone 3, Zach O'Sullivan sticking it to the door. Brandon Gardner as they transition for outer zone 4. Now into outer zone 5. Right on the door is Zach O'Sullivan through outer zone 5 onto Brandon Gardner. Brandon Gardner transitions, so does Zach into outer zone 6. Zach looks for that door one more time. Tries to transition again now down the hill through the final hairpin. And they cross the line. What? Chat's been funny today. They've made me laugh.
No! What a bunch of idiots! No. And they're just, they look like a bunch of Skittles all over the track now. Just different flavor protein bars. Look at them go. And now they're just, oh my goodness gracious. And there they go.
One of the commenters said Reese is in the middle of a Brandon sandwich.
He's in the middle of something. There it is, nice and clean.